We're on the corporate coffee again. We're on the corporate coffee again. Hey, more about those later. Hello, and welcome to Inside the Video Store. Someone said last week I should have a Red Bull before I start one of these. Obviously, I'm boring them to death. That's the idea, that I bore you to death, and you might stop watching, but you never do. More and more people watch this weekly, so coffee will have to do, unfortunately. My name is Dave Wain. This is Snips Movies, one of the last remaining movie rental stores in the UK with a rentable library of over 21,000 films. Big news, people. The big news of the week is, last week's bad news story of the week, and that the people that run or own the app that I use to track my stock, my online database, said that I can't, or I can no longer share the link to that database publicly because I am flouting the rule of it being not for commercial use. I disagree that this is commercial use, but there we go. So I have obeyed and I've withdrawn that link from public consumption. And people were very kind last week. They gave me very many great ideas. Barry, for example, gave me a great idea with regard to Excel and Google Documents to say, well, import them all to there. And I did, but I tried sharing it with a few friends, and they said we just can't search it, and it is literally just for scrolling through. And I thought, in terms of user friendliness, it just didn't work out for me. But a few of you, I know Henry was one, and I know Philip was another one, mentioned about Letterboxd, and that kind of percolated in my brain. So I thought, well, let's give it a go. It was a fairly quiet day on Monday, so I managed to export. This is very technical, and I'll pretend to know what I'm talking about. I exported my database in a file type that's 3 letters. I'm going to say GTA. That's probably wrong, but I exported my database into a document, and I was then able to import that document into Letterboxd. Now, Phil did say that I could only import 1,900 films at once, but I thought, well, hey, when in Rome, let's import all 21,000 at once. I may have temporarily broken Letterboxd during Monday afternoon, but it worked. It worked. So my entire database, save for a few TV series and a few duplicates, and this and that, is now available on Letterboxd. The Letterboxd link is below this video, and it's great. It's far exceeded my expectations on what it can do and how you can browse. For example, providing you follow Snips Movies, follow the my Letterboxd account, providing you follow my Letterboxd account and you like, I don't think it matters, but like my list, my database list, then you can search for a film in Letterboxd, scroll down, and you will see that it's searchable by lists. So say, for example, you want to find out who had The Leopard. Search for The Leopard on Letterboxd, scroll down on your Android or iPhone a little bit, and it will have a little green box saying lists. You can search lists to see who has put The Leopard on one of their lists. And hopefully, when you press lists, Snips Movies database should be at the top, which will tell you that I have a copy of The Leopard. What it doesn't tell you, though, is what format it's on, and that's a tricky one. But hey, it's something. It's something at least. And while the 4K count is still relatively low, I may create a separate 4K database by itself. That will only take a few hours. So I know a lot of people who have Letterboxd are really into the 4Ks. So I may do that as a separate entity. So yeah. So if you're pining for the Snips Movies database, then I thoroughly encourage you to follow me on Letterboxd and access it in that way. Letterboxd has a free platform, a free tier that you can use, which does have ads, but it does have a fairly nominal fee, a fairly nominal annual fee for the mid-tier level, about £14-15 a year, I think. Typically, I take the Patreon level, which is at the top level, but even then, that's only around about £32-33 a year, which, if you work it out over the course of a year, £3 a month. If you subscribe to a podcast for £3 a month, that's a good deal. And, the use I get out of Letterboxd way exceeds that outgoing. So, like I say, I find it a great app. I find it a great community. If you're not on Letterboxd, I thoroughly recommend it. Every one of my customers who is under 30 comes in and rents based on their Letterboxd list. At least the majority do. And it's great. It really does seem to it really does seem to get them excited in terms of films. So if that works for the next generation of cinephiles, then cool. Let's support it. Let's as old people support it as much as we can to enable them to do that, which is just fantastic. So that's the exciting part of the week out the way. Anything else going on? I don't think there is, to be honest. It is a relatively warm week in Wirral. We're heading into the May bank holiday, which I think is going to be a bit of a washout, which is fine by me. And we've got a lot to get through today. We have the final week of April in terms of new releases, which is a 15-title week. Lots to look at there. We have a Vinegar Syndrome delivery, which is towering towards me and looks incredibly impressive. There's a Visual Vengeance delivery, which catches up with the 4 Visual Vengeance titles that have come out in the last 4 or 5 weeks. And there's a few single what's in the boxes as well. So yeah, we shall crack on, as long as I get a 6. Okay. Well, so what is out? What is out this week? Well, it's a weighty week. It's a weighty week, and perhaps most importantly, I know many of you will scoff at this statistic, but this could well be the first week in Snips history without a DVD. Without a DVD. R.I.P. the DVD. But it's good though, because 2 of my customers this week have bought Blu-ray players. I know many of you will be watching this thinking, what year is this? It is 2026, but people have other priorities. Unless you are completely obsessed with movies, buying a Blu-ray or upgrading your DVD player isn't necessarily a priority. Everything is going up right now: fuel, gas, electric, etc. So shelling out 60, 70 quid on a new Blu-ray player isn't a priority for a lot of people, and hasn't been for many years, as everything seems to be getting more expensive with every passing year. But 2 of my customers have upgraded this week, which is quite a momentous thing. One of them managed to get a second-hand player off eBay or somewhere for £20. Genius. And another customer managed to pick up, was gifted a PlayStation 3, which brilliant, absolutely fantastic. That's great news. That's another 2 off the list. And yeah, DVD new releases are really struggling to justify themselves. So now, as you can see, I am, unless it's a big film, then I think DVD will soon be a thing of the past, much to the chagrin of some customers. But hey. So the lead title this week is The History of Sound. It is a film by Oliver Jimenez. It stars Paul Mescal and Josh O'Connor, as well as Chris Cooper. I haven't seen Chris Cooper in a film for quite some time. Set in 1917, Lionel and David, they bond over a deep love of folk music. And yeah, it just sounds like a wonderful, lovely film. Wonderful, lovely film. So, yeah, that is The History of Sound, which is out this week on Blu-ray, courtesy of Universal Pictures. Very cool indeed. Next up in the contemporary releases is H for Hawk. It stars Claire Foy and Brendan Gleeson. It was a speedily rented film. Again, it looks like a lovely, lovely film. Albeit one that is underscored by the theme of grief. That's grief, not Grease. I haven't got John Travolta dancing through this movie. So yeah, don't know much about it. Don't know if I had much of a cinema run, but that is H for Hawk, which is out this week. On Blu-ray, there's a new horror film called Whistle, directed by Corin Hardy. Stars Daphne Keane, Sky Yang, and many other people. I'm not the... Oh, Nick Frost is in it. Right, Nick Frost is in it. And it's... That's one of those great synopses that starts a misfit group of unwitting high school students. So yeah, you can pretty much see where this one's going to go. It is Whistle, released by Black Bear in the UK. And finally, with a contemporary release of this week, is a new one from the BFI. It's a film directed by Kristen Stewart, and stars Imogen Poots, Thora Birch, Tom Sturridge, and Jim Belushi. Jim Belushi's in this. Wow, Jim Belushi. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's a poetic and unflinching exploration of identity, self-discovery, and resilience, brought vividly to life through Stewart's assured directorial vision. Yeah, it looks a pretty heavy film, The Chronology of Water, but it is a film by Kristen Stewart. On to the boutique releases, of which there are a dozen, I think. Three Amigos. It's a very bare bones Blu-ray release, but it's a popular enter. This is this John Landis film. It's a classic comedy, of course, from 1986 that stars Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short, and it's very, very good fun. It is. I love this film. Written by Randy Newman, or co-written by Randy Newman, which is a surprise. And Steve Martin and Lorne Michaels from SNL. So that is the first of this week's contemporary film. The Summer Wars joins the anime collection at Snips. We don't get many anime features released to DVD, Blu-ray. Lots of anime series, but anime features not so much. Maybe one every 2 months. But this is the latest. It is Summer Wars. I think this comes from 2009. It comes from the visionary director of Belle, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, and Wolf Children. From Radiance, this is from Indicator. This is a film that I've got Radiance on the brain. I was just listening to a very good podcast, Supporting Characters, the Bill Ackerman podcast, which the latest episode is Fran Simeone, the CEO of Radiance, as a guest, and very, very interesting talking to Fran about the creation of Radiance and where they hope to go and what they hope to do and the thinking behind the films that they release. So definitely recommend the new episode of Supporting Characters with Bill Ackerman. From Indicator, we have Undertow. I think this should have come out about 2 months ago. Delayed for some reason. It is directed by William Castle, House on Haunted Hill, William Castle. And it looks like a gritty noir from 1949. This is an upgrade. And again, it's one of the slight downsides to the Letterboxd database, because obviously you can filter by date added. So you can filter the database to see what's come in recently. But of course, if The Nightcomers comes in, it won't be on there because I have the DVD already. So it won't register that I now have a Blu-ray. So hey, but I think it's just a case of, keeping abreast of all the social media platforms, specifically Instagram, for what comes out and where. But yeah, The Nightcomers was released over here a number of years ago via Network. It's now on this nice little Blu-ray from Studio Canal in one of those horrible thin cases and one of those horrible flimsy slip cases. It's a Michael Winner film. And yeah, adaptation of a Henry James novel. So yeah, very cool indeed. Audio commentary on here by Kat Ellinger and an introduction by Kim Newman. Thora Hird starts in this. From 88 Films, we have God of Gamblers 2 with Andy Lau, Stephen Chow. Very good. First one has performed quite well, to be honest. I don't know where I've put it. There it is. First God of Gamblers movie. So yeah, nice to have the other one in stock. Made in 1990, only a year after the first film. It's described as a tornado of comedy, action, and complete and utter absurdity. Very cool indeed. So they will look nice on the shelf together. God of Gamblers 2. From Arrow Video on 4K UHD and only on 4K UHD. This one is making a leap from a DVD to 4K. It is Soldier, the Paul Anderson film. The stars Kurt Russell. Who was it? I think Elric Kane on the Pure Cinema podcast said he counted Kurt Russell's dialogue in this film. And he says 71 words. But yeah, there we are. Paul Anderson, who of course did Mortal Kombat and Event Horizon. This did very, very badly. Very, very badly when it first came out. It's described here as an underseen gem. Yes, because everyone avoided it. So whether or not it holds up well, whether or not it demands a reevaluation, I do not know. But either way, it is here. Soldier on 4K UHD. On Blu-ray, however, is Inner Space. What a lovely film this is. Joe Dante's film, which has long needed a nice upgrade. Dennis Quaid stars in this. Martin Short, again, is in this, as is Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, it's just a nice film. I saw this a number of times back in the day when it was on TV, and it's great. It's a lovely lavish edition from Arrow, and it really does deserve such treatment. From Treasured Films, we have Reno de Silvestro's Werewolf Woman. A bit of a gnarly film, this, which I think deserves its 18 certification. Treasured Films have been putting out a fairly mixed bag of releases. I think their next film is X-Cross. A little bit of a scattershot schedule, but hey, you know, it's all good. It's all nice to see these films coming out. And there's plenty on here, plenty of new things on here. There's new commentary from Troy Howarth, new commentary from Kim Newman, and a little piece on Werewolf Woman by Stephen Thrower. So yeah, nice to see. Dagna Lysander is in this film as well. But yeah, that is Werewolf Woman. Again, another gorgeously curated set on Blu-ray from Treasured Films as Werewolf Woman. At long last, Indicator are back on the Rollins. It's been a while, and here are two of arguably the most anticipated Rollins to be restored and remastered on Blu-ray. Obviously, I have them on Blu-ray already from years ago from Screenbound, but these new 4K restorations from the OCN are just brilliant. Here's the first. It's Grapes of Death, arguably Roland's most notorious film. I hated this the first time I watched it. Despised it. But yeah, now much more enthusiastic about this. I kind of get Roland now, whereas back when I was 18, 19, I had no clue what he was or what I was watching. Interesting to spot that there's 10,000 units been made of this film. 10,000. 4,000 on Blu-ray and 6,000 on 4K UHD. Very interesting indeed. Interesting split. It kind of gives you some indication of where the industry is going. The second Roland this month is The Living Dead Girl, another notorious Roland from 1982. And again, we have that same 10,000 unit run of this with 6,000 on 4K HD and 4,000 on Blu-ray. Great special features. I mean, just a weighty paragraph of special features. And there's not that much more left of Roland. It seems obvious, but I'm sure they'll dig up some stuff. But it's great to see all those films. Great to see all those films on Blu-ray. And finally, these look great. This is the latest box set from Eureka. It is Adventure Calls. Carl May at CCC. The writer, Carl May, is a household name in Germany, where he is associated with thrilling Western tales and sweeping adventure stories. 7 of these were produced by Arthur Brauner at CCC Film. They all starred Lex Barker, and they were all directed by veteran filmmakers like Robert Siodmak and Harold Reinl. So yeah, here they are, wildly entertaining, shot in beautifully cinematic European locations, and helmed by some of the most talented filmmakers working in Germany during the 60s. These popular Carl May adaptations paved the way for many Italian westerns that would soon follow. So here we are, the 7 here. They all, I mean, one of the great things that MOC has finally done, I mean, when they pulled out the these initial releases, they kept them in the Amore cases, kept them in the Scanava Amore cases, which is fine. But in my opinion, I don't think you can beat these cases, because I just think that it's a better look. It's a better feel. And here they are, all in these nice card cases, which I think suit a release like this more better. Much more better. Far better. Yeah. I can't wait to get into these films, and I know many of you will be keen to take a look at these. Boys' own adventures, as they might say back in the day. But yeah, good stuff. I know a lot of every gender will be very much looking forward to this. Cool. Awesome. Very nice, and they're going to keep that there. Pride of place. Okay, let's crack on. Let's just check we're recording, because we're doing this in almost one fell swoop. Yeah. So next comes Vinegar Syndrome, which is a hell of a stash. It's a hell of a stash. The new Vinegar Syndromes get announced. On Friday at 5 p.m. So whatever you're doing, if you're local to Snips Movies, when you're watching this, please don't come in between 5 and 6. I'm probably a bit too late for that now, because I will be frantically purchasing. It's just some of them. They have such small runs in terms of how many units that they do with a slip and things like that. It can be as low as 500 units, and they can go in 20 minutes. It's quite frightening. But yeah, I think this month is a particularly good month for Vinegar Syndrome. First things first, though, let's get rid of the stuff that I can't tell you about. Got the dice. Oh, Snake Eyes. This, of course, is the stuff that I'm unable to rent due to archaic British law. We have Cecil Howard's Snake Eyes. Cecil Howard's Snake Eyes comes with the rather provocative tagline, "Coming to roll your bones." One of director Cecil Howard's most abstract and experimentally structured films, Snake Eyes is a neon-tinged study of emotional disintegration filtered through punk and new wave aesthetics. Gary Butler is in this, Joanna Storm is in this, Paul Thomas, Sharon Mitchell, all the icons you can imagine. It's been newly restored in 4K, and here we have it on Blu-ray. Cecil Howard's Snake Eyes. Less exciting is this triple bill of Carlos Tobolino films. Carlos Tobolino we mentioned a few weeks ago. I know Dan will now be cursing me because he'll have the Carlos Tobalina song going around in his head, because we mentioned that you should all have watched Flesh and Bullets by now, which nobody has, so you're missing out. But Carlos Tobalina was quite a filmmaker, and for the first time, Melusine had been quite honest on the back, saying he was one of Hollywood's most prolific directors of oddball X-rated films, self-financing all of his work and known for his unusual integration of social and political commentary into his stories. Picorama represents a trio of Tobalina's more memorable early 80s efforts. And they are quite unforgettable in many ways, sometimes for the wrong reasons. But hey, good people in them. Bill Margold, and more. So yeah, it's Oriental Hawaii, Las Vegas Girls, and Mylin versus Serena, the sexual challenge of the century. Finally, with the Melusines, well, there are more, but I think I can just about sneak a couple of the Melusines onto the shop floor without being too problematic. This one, though, maybe not so much. It is Come Blow the Horn. It is a film by Joe Sarno from 1978. Because Joe Sarno was recognized as one of the true geniuses of sexploitation cinema, and he's been celebrated with retrospectives around the world. He made over 125 films, of which about 15 were shot in Sweden. His black and white nudie films of the 1960s, earned him the epithet, the Ingmar Bergman of 42nd Street. So yeah, this this sounds absolutely wild. Filmed in the idyllic rural village just outside Dalarna, Sweden. It's about country girl Monica, who has found an old Viking horn. When she blows it, women inexplicably go wild with desire. Yeah, hijinks and shoes. So there's Come Blow the Horn from 1978, classic Swedish triple X. But now, onto the stuff you can rent, or maybe not. Because first we have Intensive Care, which did cause a bit of confusion. I must thank Henry for testing this one out for me, because it was originally advertised on the Vinegar Syndrome website as a Region A, but the case that arrives on Monday states that it's multi-region. Alas, it is only a Region 1, Region A. Disc, it is, of course, the feature film debut of multi-talented Dutch director Donna X. van Roeveroy, as the first and only Dutch horror film directed by a woman to date. Can't wait to see it. George Kennedy stars in it, but yes, it is available only on Region A Blu-ray. This one came out years ago for Vinegar Syndrome, but they've recently put out again in a new slip, and it is Unmasked Part 25, a biting horror comedy from directors Anders Palm, cleverly playing off every 80s horror cliche. So yeah, I've never seen that. I can't wait to take it home, to be honest. Should be fun. Next up, now I have a funny relationship with this film. I kind of have no interest in seeing it, but not really my cup of tea, but well, it is what it is. Faces of Death. Faces of Death is here, is in the house. Yeah, Faces of Death on 4K UHD. Mad, isn't it? What a bizarre place we're at now where something like this gets made on 4K UHD. Like I said, I've never seen it, never seen the sequels, never had any intention of seeing it. It doesn't appeal to me. But, you get something in a nice slippy, and you think, okay, maybe I might break that rule. We'll see. But yeah, Faces of Death in on 4K UHD. Now, this is much more my cup of tea. It is Volume 1 of Eurocrime Rarities. Brilliant. Obviously, they've been doing Forgotten Jali for many, many years now at Vinegar Syndrome, and this is now Eurocrime Rarities. Because you got to think to yourself, back in the day, post-French Connection, these Eurocrime films were coming out at a rate of knots. Seriously, I can't even begin to imagine the number of films that came out in this genre, like spaghetti westerns. I mean, what was it on spaghetti westerns? 500, 600, 700 spaghetti westerns over a short period of time. So here we have the first three. We have The Day of the Cobra, which stars Franco Nero and Sybil Danning. Wow, just amazing. Directed by Enzo G. Castellari. I mean, what a beginning. Can you get any better than that? Well, you can, because the second film is The Rascals Gang, and it stars Luke Miranda and Thomas Millian. Gee whiz. Stelvio Massi directed that. Then third out of three, we have The Iron Commissioner, which stars Maurizio Merli. Jeez. So yeah, this is a hell of a set. A hell of a set. And again, it's another one from Stelvio Massi. Brilliant set, brilliant idea. And I know a lot of people online have been clamoring for more poliziotteschi movies for quite some time, and at last, here we go. We know from last month that Vinegar Syndrome are releasing these Lucio Fulci Presents movies. The last one from last month, I forget the name of it, but it was quite bang average. This is the second one in the series. It's called Escape from Death. Sounds great from the synopsis. Directed by Enzo Milioni, the director of The Sister of Ursula, which was a very good film. And yeah, we shall see. It's on 4K UHD and region-free Blu-ray. Arguably the most exciting film from Vinegar Syndrome is Mutant. It stars the brilliant Wings Hauser. We love Wings Hauser here, don't we? And it's directed by just an absolute icon. A guy called John Bud Cardos, rather. John Bud Cardos was a good friend of Fred Olen Ray, and I don't know if you follow Fred Olen Ray on the socials, but you will have seen over the last 10, 15 years that whenever Fred Olen Ray goes out for dinner or gets some industry friends together, John Bud Cardos is there every single time. He's now no longer with us. He passed a couple of years back now. But he's a great stuntman, great stuntman. And he directed some interesting films like Kingdom of the Spiders. But Mutant is a cool film. And I'm glad to see it here for the very first time. Okay, onto the partner labels now. Having quiche tonight. Never had quiche in my life. Can you believe I got to middle age and never had quiche in my entire life? That could be for good reason. We shall find out. Stay tuned. Distripix. Possibly one of the least rented partner labels at Snips. Fair enough, they're not for everyone. But, within a day of this landing, it's been renting out already. But this one looks to have quite a broad appeal. It is the naughty world of Stanley Long, the great British sexploitation producer, mogul. 4 of his films have been collected here. We have The Wife Swappers, we have Groupie Girl, we have Sex and the Other Woman, and we have Eskimo Nell, all across 2 Blu-rays. And yeah, we love a bit of British sexploitation. Although arguably the other 2 British sexploitation boxes that I have haven't really rented out that well. Mary Millington, for example. I don't think anyone has taken Mary Millington yet, which is a shame. The naughty Pete Walker films. I don't think anyone has taken those yet. Maybe, possibly. Does someone rent Cool at Carol? I think they might have done. And similarly, this set here, Saucy 70s, a British sex comedy threesome. I don't think anyone has rented these, but they are here. They are right below Bruceploitation, and right above Sartana. There you go. Can't miss them. Continuing with the partner labels, I got some partner labels I've never had in for the very first time. this month, some of which I am very, very impressed with. Namely, Art Label. Namely, I can never read this. Memory.is and Decalogue. This is the catalogs. This is Motel Drive. This is a documentary, a 63-minute documentary. Very, very bleak. I watched it. It's the first thing I took home from Vinegar Syndrome. It is bleak as bleak AF, as the kids would say. It's about a strip in Fresno of motels that are now in such a dilapidated state. However, they are home to a couple of sort of kind of transient families who are struggling to get themselves back on track. And it's a fly-on-the-wall documentary filmed with compassion and filmed with empathy. And it is very, very good indeed. I do recommend it. It's Motel Drive, filmed by Brendan Geraghty at this month from Decalogue. We have two films that are kind of satires of the business, of the movie business. We have Serious People, which sees a successful music video director turning to a doppelganger to work instead of him. So yeah, that is Serious People, which is out from memory.is. Then we have, if you can get the slipcover back on, we have Micro Budget, which comes out from Factory 25. Micro Budget, more of a satire, maybe, more of a an out-and-out comedy, more of a mockumentary, just about a guy shooting a low-budget indie movie and everything that goes on behind it. Kind of a living in oblivion sort of thing, maybe for the modern age. Who knows? Going a little further back to 1963, this is this month's Bleeding Skull title. This is House of Dreams, directed by Robert Berry from 1963. Existing outside the boundaries of reality, House of Dreams is a lost chapter of mid-century avant-garde horror. Sounds amazing. Preserved from the only 35mm print in existence, courtesy of Indiana University. So yeah, very, very cool indeed. From Saturn's Core this month, we have Savage Vows. As soon as Savage Vows was announced, I got a message from John Oak Dalton, friend of Mark Polonia, to say how shocked he was that this got found, because as far as they were concerned, it was a lost film. So John texted me yesterday and said, you must watch this as soon as you possibly can. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to watch it. It's not by Mark Polonia, but it does star Mark Polonia. It's actually written and directed by Bob Dennis, who John tells me Bob used to work in the video store that Mark Polonia went to. And he was kind of, every time Mark went in for a video to rent, Bob would kind of plague him or bug him to try and film a movie together. And here it is, Savage Vows. So that's pretty cool. That's from the horse's mouth. Two that I'm very excited about. This is from Art Label, which I don't think I've ever got a film from before. It's called Holy Trinity. It's directed by Glam Hag, which is a great name in my estimation. It boasts an inclusive cast, compromising of diverse communities that are often neglected in mainstream cinema, and it approaches typically taboo subjects with verve and acceptance. Holy Trinity is a sometimes raunchy, always entertaining celebration of all that makes us different. Sounds fantastic. A vibrant and vivid portrait of friendship, spirituality, and community, with more than a little glam sprinkled in along the way. This looks fantastic. Can't wait to watch this. It's the new release from Art Label. It's from 2019, and it is called Holy Trinity. And finally, the Vinegar Syndrome stack this month, we have the next release from Muscle. Interestingly, this is spine number 006. So Castration Movie Part 1 was 001. This is 006. So I'm guessing Muscle will be putting out the other Castration movies in good time. But this is There Are No More Closets, the films and videos of Wakefield Pool. Wakefield Pool, of course, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, was a pioneering gay filmmaker back in the day where there weren't many pioneering gay filmmakers. I've had Take One and Moving in stock for a number of years here, but to have this upgrade to Blu-ray is particularly exciting, as it also comes with 3 films that well, one film was shot on film that I've never had before called Hot Shots, and 2 that he shot on video. A film called Split Image and a film called The Hustlers, both made in 1984. This is the first of 3 volumes of Wakefield Pool films, and just this volume alone clocks in at just over 6 hours. So, yeah, a hell of a set, a hell of a set. That is, there are no more closets. The films and videos of Wakefield Pool. And I think this will go right down here. Cool. Great. What a stack, though. What a stack. How am I going to fit those in? Unbelievable. It's kind of Vinegar's under on panic time because it always gets delivered about the 26th, 27th of every month. And then you kind of have a wobble. You think, oh my God, I've got to order another 15 of these, like in 3 days' time. And you kind of think, how can this be sustainable? But it is. So screw it. In the oddments for the new arrivals, we have a film I have never heard of before, but I got asked for it on Saturday. And that's the great thing about collaborating. People say to me, "Oh, I don't like asking for films. You've got so many. I don't like asking. I don't like asking when I want it, and probably no one else is going to be interested in it." It's never the case. You know, whenever I get a film in, always people right across the board are interested in it. And this is one of them. I'd never heard of it, despite it coming out from Arrow back in the day. It is The Tall Blonde Man, and he has one black shoe, and he has a collection. Yes, it is The Tall Blonde Man with one black shoe, and the return of The Tall Blonde Man. 2 French farces from 1970 something. Believe it or not, Arrow put this out nearly 20 years ago. But yeah, I've never had these films in my life. They look absolutely fantastic. I love a French farce. And there we go. Thanks to Mark's wife for mentioning these, because, yeah, stuff like that I absolutely love to bits. Then we have 3 that are going into the queer cinema section, as I mentioned last week. I want to fill in a few blanks that of stuff that just has eluded me over the years, stuff to really give it some weight. This is an interesting film. This is Greek Pete, A Year in the Life of a Rent Boy. I watched it Tuesday morning. It's the first feature by Andrew Haigh. Andrew Haigh, of course, you will know, directed the brilliant film All of Us Strangers, a little while back, which was a huge success here in terms of renting. And of course, he directed Weekend, which is on loan at the moment, and I'm thrilled to bits that it is. Not only is Weekend on loan, but the person who rented it gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd, which is just, yes. This is very interesting. It's kind of a docudrama, mainly docu, but a bit of drama. And it's a good film by Andrew Haigh, 2009. Greek Pete isn't the most, he's an interesting character. But it's an interesting insight into a world that I guess most people don't know much about. Thanks to Roxy for the recommendation of this. It is Knife and Heart. Again, I was completely in the dark with regard to this existing, so I thank her massively for this. It stars Vanessa Paradis and Joe Lataxi. No, I'm joking. And the quote from the Hollywood Reporter on the back says, now get this, if Dario Argento, Brian De Palma, and Kenneth Anger conceived a 3-way love child while watching Cruising and listening to a Giorgio Moroder mixtape, the result would be something like French director Yann Gonzalez's Knife and Heart. I mean, if that isn't an excuse to watch this film, then I don't know what is. But yeah, Knife and Heart, in now, available on DVD. And today, this came in, which again was on a great list that Roxy sent over to me, which was 40 barely heard of LGBT plus films. And this was on. I never heard of this in my life. Never heard of this in my life. It is Rafiki. Rafiki had to import it from. Where would you say? Where would you say? I'm going to go from Holland. I'm going to go for Holland. But yeah, looks great. Good story. Good love story. A pure-hearted, candy-coloured tale of first love. That's what we need more of. That's what we need more of. Finally, with the additions to the store, we have this foursome from Visual Vengeance, beginning with Vampire Time Travelers. Vampire Time Travelers. What a cover! What a cover that is. Sounds absolutely delirious. Crude jokes, whiplash editing, and chaotic genre detours. Plays like a conventional shot-on-tape vampire film, or less like a conventional shot-on-tape vampire film, and more like a live-action DIY cartoon funhouse spiraling out of control. Wonderful. That is Vampire Time Travelers, out now on Visual Vengeance. Also from Visual Vengeance, we have The Paranormal. This one's from 1998. It was long overlooked and scarcely distributed. It's by Todd Norris. It is considered one of the great lost achievements of the shot-on-video era. Very cool indeed. 3 out of 4, we have Colony Mutation from 1995. Tom Berner's rarely seen stop-motion heavy Super 8 body horror, which plays like an alternate universe rom-com directed by David Cronenberg. Wow. They really sell these to you, you know. And finally, on one I am desperately looking forward to watching. It's from Mark Polonia. It is his classic film from 1995. You know, I haven't seen Jurassic Park, but I would quite happily watch Saurians. Yes, grassroots Super 8 mini epic. Blue-collar counterpoint to Steven Spielberg's dinosaur blockbuster. Brimming with wobbly effects, puppetry, and endearing stop motion, it distills dinosaur fantasy cinema down to its most unpolished, childlike, and heartfelt essence. A true homespun indie gem. Amazing. So yeah, that's going to be on my list. I'm doing a commentary this week at the weekend, so unfortunately I can't watch any of these until next week. But yeah, what a haul! What a haul! Really cool stuff. Okay, so we're pretty much done for today. I'm gonna head away, and then tomorrow I'm gonna come back and we'll quickly run through any oddments that have come in tomorrow, and also we'll run through the on loan section, and we'll also run through the comment section. And yeah, that's it. And we will see my progress in terms of reducing this absolutely wild stack of movies. So fingers crossed, I can make a dent in these tomorrow. So you'll see. So tune in, or stay tuned rather, and we will see where things are at. And we're back. Yeah, let's just polish off this final 10 minutes. Busy day, another busy day. I don't know why this week has been so busy, but it has. The weather's been nice, and people have literally been in their droves. I've never had such a strong Monday, Tuesday, Thursday in a long time. Weird. But today, obviously, I put all the films away, all of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, all the new releases, which is cool. No major concerns in terms of space. One thing I've been doing is when the European imports would come in, I had a little section for European imports with the mini boutique labels. And I don't know, no one ever looked at them like, what does, European import mean to people? So I just thought, well, let's integrate those throughout the store, and then that gives me more space on that shelf. But it's tricky pulling films out, trying to integrate them into the most stocked shelves. So, but then again, you notice things like, for example, I have Tootsie up on the shelf there on DVD, and I've got it in Criterion. No sense having it in two places. So this DVD will go inside the Criterion Blu-ray. Ditto Under Siege, had that in 2 places. It came in on an Arrow Blu-ray recently, but I had it, alphabetically on the shelf there. No Place Again, it being in 2 places at once, so I can integrate that. And The Vanishing, a little bit of a controversial move, but I'm going to combine George Sluice's remake with George Sluice's original in the Blu-ray case there, because it just makes sense, and no one ever takes the remake. Everyone takes the original. That's a job for tomorrow. More room there, which is cool. Let's have a look at what's been going out on loan. It's been a really good week, to be honest, with some really cool stuff and not so cool stuff. One film I'm thrilled that's gone out, and mainly because it cost me a fortune to get it over here. It is the Short Bus Blu-ray. Short Bus, one of my favorite films of all time. John Cameron Mitchell, of course, directed it. He directed Hedwig and the Angry Inch. It's a mega film, just absolutely brilliant. It's so explicit, so boundary pushing, but it is just absolutely fantastic. I have had the DVD in here for many, many years. And it's great to upgrade this. It came in through Oscilloscope. I had to order direct from the Oscilloscope website. And yeah, just really pleased to have this. The person that took it, I think, will like it. They're a massive Hedwig fan, so they want to explore some more John Cameron Mitchell films. So yeah, really, really pleased that this has gone out. It's a great edition of a fantastic film, which is 20 years old this year. Wow. Going out for the very first time, I didn't have this on my Snips bingo this week. It is Sunstruck with Harry Seacombe. A light-hearted, marvellously enjoyable family drama that stars Harry Seacombe as a Welsh schoolteacher and choir master who emigrates to Australia to teach in the sun. Yeah, Roxy and Paddy took this. I don't know why they took it. Derek Nimmo is in it. And I'm sure it's an interesting fish out of water style comedy, but I'm kind of intrigued about that, to be honest. Kind of intrigued. One of my favorite documentaries of all time. It's probably one of the most difficult documentaries to watch. It is The Bridge. So pleased that this has gone out on loan. Rebecca rented it. I know she was very, very reluctant to rent it, but keen to watch it. Because when is the right time to watch something like this? It is a documentary about suicide. It's a documentary about people ending their lives off the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. It's an incredibly difficult watch, but it's an essential piece of filmmaking, and I'm so pleased to see it renting out. Might not be the case with the almighty Thor. It's an asylum blockbuster, mockbuster rather. It's directed by Fred Olen Ray's son, Chris, who coincidentally has just completed a remake of Night of the Living Dead that his dad produced. But yeah, I'm not sure if the customer who rented this will like it. But hey, it's an experience. The almighty Thor. Really, really pleased to see these going out. The Thin Man collection. If you haven't seen the Thin Man collection, I thoroughly, thoroughly recommend them. 6 movies, all just an absolute delight. Absolute delight. 40s filmmaking in the golden age of Hollywood. Light, fluffy, funny, with a little bit of drama. And they're great. William Powell at his best, and Myrna Loy, as always, is just delightful. So yeah, Thin Man. Love this collection so much. It's so slimline, isn't it? One of my customers, Kieran, asked me to get this on 4K UHD from America because I don't know, all those urban films that came out at the turn of the millennium, they've just disappeared in this country. Maybe because we're racists. Well, maybe. In America, though, they get great editions on 4K UHD, and this is Belly, the Hype Williams film. And I must admit, since I got this in a few months back, it has rented like mad. So that shows you the demand for this type of movie, and good. I'm really pleased. Whether it will change any minds over here, I don't know. Whether we'll see a sudden influx of films starring iconic rappers, I do not know, but we can hope. We can hope. One of my favourite indie comedies of all time, rented out, and it's a wonderful, wonderful film called Pieces of April. I love this film to bits. It's a great cast. Katie Holmes is in it, Patricia Clarkson. Oliver Platt is in it. He's one of my favourite comedic actors of all time. And it's great. It doesn't rent out very often. But Dominic took it at the weekend because he saw The Day Trippers with Lee Schreiber, and he just had a keen desire to see Millennium era indie comedies, and what better next selection than that. William Friedkin's film Boys in the Band has gone out on loan, which is always good to see. Fantastic story based on a fantastic play by Matt Crowley. This apparently is incredibly hard to find these days. I didn't realize. I mean, this Blu-ray only came out 7-8 years ago from Second Sight, but apparently it's deleted, it's out of print, and it's going for crazy money. So wild. But yeah, great edition with a great audio commentary by William Friedkin. Extra bonus points this week to Dave, not me, for renting Miracle, the Kurt Russell film from, wow, when was this from? Must be 20 years ago. Because it's probably in the hardest to reach place in the store, but he got it very dustily by himself, which is an incredible achievement. I've said in the past probably that I'm not a sporty person, but I love sports movies. Something about them. Just, I love sports movies, underdog stories. And this is one of those. It is Kurt Russell in Miracle. And finally, it just got returned today, but I'm so pleased to see this film going out on loan. It's Saved. It's a fantastic comedy. Lots of satire, lots of wit, lots of sniping, and it's just a great script by Brian Donnelly, who also directed. Michael Stipe from REM produced this. Macaulay Culkin stars alongside Mandy Moore and Jenna Malone and Patrick Fugit. And it is a brilliant, if you want a sassy high school comedy, then you cannot do much better than this. It absolutely bombed when it first came out in 2005 or 2004, but it didn't deserve to, because it is an absolute star of a film. Saved. And you should save it. Okay. Well done to the competition winners last week. Manal, I'm posting your Blu-rays tomorrow. I've just had a couple more things to include in the mail, so I just thought I would bag them all up at the same time. So Manal, that will be on its way to you tomorrow. Quick look through the comments from last week. Thank you, as always, for commenting on these videos. It's always very welcome indeed. Coffee Jesus CJ said, back in the day, it was a genuine pleasure to watch the Pang brothers evolve. The i3 is really special, and I still think about it all the time. The i, of course, came out on 4K UHD last week, and CJ there with some love for the Pang brothers, Danny and Oxide, who are Korean directors of Japanese directors of the highest caliber. Manal says, thanks, Dave, amazing prize. He also asks a question. Manal says, what do you think the plan for boutique companies is going forward? I'm concerned they default to upgrading 4K of relatively recent Blu-ray releases. It seems a missed opportunity to work on unreleased films or films that need restorations, but much easier for them, I assume. Yes, it is a great deal easier for films, for companies just to deal with stuff that's already been upgraded and restored or scanned into 2K or 4K. So yeah, that is a concern. I mean, I don't want to sort of see an industry that all it is upgrade. I do want to see new films being restored for the very first time. It is, though, expensive, but there are a number of companies out there that do it. So it just depends on them. I think it'll be a balancing act. I think they will seek to, put out 4K upgrades 50% of the time, and I think they'll seek to find new films to put out 50% of the time. So I think it'll be a balancing act. I think it's too risky for them to go all in on 4K and just focus on upgrades. I think it'll be a balancing act because I think there's too much of an opportunity with restoring films. And, while you've got people like Criterion restoring films and people like, well, Arrow, really. Arrow took enemy territory from nowhere last year. No one was looking at that film. And they did a great restoration on that. So, yeah. Well, as long as people buy them, that's the thing. That's the thing. As long as people buy them. Corey says Confessions of a Police Captain is a great film of a cop against a mafia-connected construction kingpin. It just came back in today. It's been rented out for the last week, so it's been great to see that on loan. John Hughes says Watchers is available on German and Blu-ray. I think that might be a dodgy Blu-ray, unfortunately, John. I did a little bit of nosing around on eBay and what have you. It looks to be a bit of a bootleg, but we'll see. We'll see. A bit too pricey to take a gamble on that, I think. He said it's also great to see a copy of Jeffrey in Snips. I hope lots of people rent it. Patrick Stewart is amazing in it. Yeah, I'm so pleased to get Jeffrey. I'm so pleased to get these extra movies into the queer cinema section. It's really, really important. Yeah, but of course, Watchers, as Anne Mumford says, Watchers is available on a British DVD. So I think I might plump for the DVD. At some point, that would be the safer bet. Phil, yeah, we mentioned that before about exporting data from the database into Letterboxd. And like I said, the reaction has been really, really cool for that. Maureen states that it'd be quite nice if Girl with Hyacinth from the World and Wild Volume 3 box set was placed in the LGBT section instead. It is a very important, relatively early LGBT film. So yeah, I'm going to pull this out, Maureen. Yeah, very interesting and good call. Good call to stick that in the LGBT section. So I shall do that tomorrow. James says The Killer. James, good to see James this weekend for the first time for a few weeks. James says The Killer looks like another great film from Arrow Video. Easily my favorite label for boutique releases. Bob says, hey Dave, on an upcoming episode, could you showcase your Mondo Macabro section? I'd love to see it. Yeah, I will do that, Bob. I think we're due another wave of Mondo Macabro releases soon. So when that next threesome of Mondo films comes in, I'll pull the section over to one side and showcase it, because it's not the most well-rented section, in all honesty. And it's a shame, because there's some absolute hidden gems in there. John Young says, I'm finding eBay pricing on a lot of movies to be insane these days. You're absolutely right, John. It's shocking, the eBay pricing these days. You may sometimes, occasionally, get a bargain if it's on an auction. But generally speaking, yeah, not great. Although today, I did pick up all 7 seasons of Tales from the Crypt, which I'm really, really excited about. But after that, for a number of years, sadly, it's a Region 1 DVD. But for personal use, I'm really, really happy with that, because many Blu-ray audio commentaries we do, a lot of the filmmakers in their past, like William Malone, for example, who we're doing the current commentary on, William Malone has done 2 episodes of Tales from the Crypt, and they're really hard to get hold of. There's a couple of episodes on YouTube, but they're not the best quality. Ads as well. I refuse to pay YouTube to remove ads. And yeah, I just I think for me personally, it's a really important group of television series to have. So I got them something like £46 for all 7 series. Not the complete box set that kind of takes away all the artwork. I mean, all individual seasons as they originally released. So I'm quite pleased about that. Henry says, obviously, you're talking about Piranha last week. Yes, absolutely, Piranha. And no, I do not get royalties if you buy a Blu-ray with my commentary on. Sadly, I wish I did. If I did, then I would have made an absolute packet from Urban Legend 3. Yeah. So sadly, no, I just get a flat fee up front. And finally, Connor, another great episode. Super excited to see that you snagged a copy of the new Matador release, which rented out, just came back today. I also did. Well done, you, Connor. And now only 6 films away from having Almodovar's complete filmography in my collection. That's amazing, Connor. Well done. I think I'm pretty much up to date with all Pedro's films, but just an iconic, amazing filmmaker, and we need more of his films on Blu-ray in this country. But hopefully, with Matador coming out from Radiance, then it's the first of many. Right, that's about it from me. We've got a wet bank holiday weekend coming up, so I'm hoping that we will take the first few days of immense trade and take it into the weekend. I need to cut some more sleeves because I'm pretty much maxed out on rental cases out on loan, which is nutty. So I need to get some of those prepped for Friday and Saturday. Aside from that, there's not much else to say. Next week is finally, trust me, finally going to be a fairly quiet week in terms of new arrivals. Literally, I don't think we'll get to double figures, including what's in the box. So we might have to do something else to fill our time. What could we do? We might have a wander around or something like that, and we'll figure out. Might look at the TV series or something. Anyway, I'm going home for more quiche. It was very nice, very nice debut quiche. And yeah, I will see you in 7 days' time.